that we are not disturbing anyone else. So I will mute everyone. But understand, guys, that whatever questions that you have about product management before and after the session, we will make sure that we are also answering them. So at the end of tomorrow's session, this is a 2-day masterclass. At the end of tomorrow's session, I'll take each and every question that you might have about product management. Okay. So with that being said, tell me, go ahead in the chat if you guys are ready to go ahead and start with the session today. Tell me, go ahead in the chat. Wonderful. Let's start. Yes. On the screen, you should be able to see the product management bootcamp. Yes. Cool. I'll just stop the chat for some time so that you guys are not able to disturb each other. Okay. Focus on the session, guys, not on the chat. Focus on the session. Okay. Now, this is a 2-day masterclass. Today, I'm going to teach you for around 90 minutes. After 1 hour, we are going to take a small break. And then we are going to answer these 4 questions in these 2 days. The first question is, what do product managers do? The first question that we are going to answer today is, what do product managers do? Then we are going to talk about what skills do you need in order to become a PM or a better PM if you already are. Then we are going to talk about what does a PM career trajectory looks like. What are the salaries and what are the different levels in a product manager job and how does your responsibility change? And then eventually we are going to talk about how can you get into a PM or a better PM role coming from any kind of background. So this is what we are going to go ahead and yes. So this is what we are going to go ahead and discuss in today's and tomorrow's session. Okay. Now, before going ahead and telling you that, this is my major motivation. This is my major agenda from this session, that after these 2 sessions, you should feel motivated that no matter you are a non-PM or you are already a PM, you should be able to get into a better PM role. Okay. And you should be feeling motivated that no matter how hard it is still possible for me. I still have a hope. I still have a roadmap. If I follow that, it is going to be hard, but I should be able to become a product manager. Okay. So that is what the intent of the session is. And at the end of tomorrow's session, I'm going to ask you the question whether you are feeling motivated or not. Okay. One more request, guys. If some of you can go ahead and open the cameras, that is going to be really fantastic so that I feel some life in the session. Go ahead, guys. Take a moment and open your cameras. That will help me and you feel alive in the session. And also it will help you focus. Young folks, there are 289 people in the session today. If you want to be a product manager, you have to be a bit of extrovert. So don't be afraid of opening your cameras. Go ahead, guys. I'll wait. Yes, I could see some now. Okay. Cool. Great. Great to see some faces. Yes, guys. So now this is going to be the agenda for today's session and tomorrow's session. We are going to talk about an introduction, who we are, why you should listen to me. Then I'm going to talk about the 3D product management to help you understand what exactly product management is. Then we'll talk about skills and career in product. How does a trajectory looks like? Then we'll talk about how to get into a PM role, even as a fresher, even as a salesperson, even as a marketing person, business analyst, developer, anything that you are today. I'll be able to give you a path so that you can get into product management. And then eventually we'll be taking the questions. Okay. In the last masterclass, we took more than 106 questions. Okay. So it's my promise that no matter how many questions you have, we will make sure that we are answering each and every of those questions. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let me stop. Just give me a moment. Yes. So now before I could start the session, before I could give you the content, let me go ahead and first set up some credibility. Why you should listen. Okay. A bit about me. My name is Ankit and I have been a product manager for more than 8 years now. I started my career as an entrepreneur when I had my own company and I was helping legal businesses scale themselves. After that, I started working for a company called Shiros, where I was working as head of product growth, and I was able to take the company from around 1 million users to 5 million users and improve the day two retention, improve the day seven retention from about 35% to 70%. After that, I worked for a company which is very famous these days, which is IND Money, where I was able to take the product from around 10,000 users to half a million users. I was working, looking at the product growth there. And then eventually I worked in core product management role at a company called Scalar. They have a very popular brand called Intrubit. There I was able to take the product from around 250K users to 3.5 million users. Okay. This has been my trajectory as a product manager. Okay. Now, can you guys tell me if there is any company that you are aware of, that you are aware of? Tell me in the chat if there is any company that you are aware of. Scalar, IND, IND Money. Yes, all of them. Yes. So actually, you guys are very fortunate because when I joined these companies, these are very, 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 very small companies. Okay. I was just at the right moment, at the right time, at the right place to make sure that I was able to leverage the 0 to 1 growth of all of these companies. Okay. With that being said, I am now on a mission to help people learn product management and become product managers at top companies. In the last 4 years, I have helped more than 2,000 individuals with my company called Hello PM and helped them become product manager at some of the top companies. So if you look at Microsoft, CRAD, Amazon, SpotDraft, WaitFit, there are multiple companies which have product managers who have been hired from Hello PM. And right now, we our scope is so much that if you go ahead and look at any popular company, there are very high chances that you will be able to find a Hello PM alumni over there. Okay, so this is what we have done. And this I am showing you to make sure that you do not feel like this. How many of you are able to understand this meme? Tell me in the chat if you are able to understand what is written on the screen. A quick yes or no in the chat. Yes. So what it means is that when you are taking a very so understand these days with internet, it's possible for everyone to go ahead and start creating content. And with ChatGPT, it has become much, much easier. Okay. Although it's good for entertainment, it's good for fun, it's good for comedy shows, but or it's good for music. But if you are going ahead and taking an important decision about your career, it's important for you to understand that whoever is showing you the path, they should have also walked that path. Okay, so that is why I always make sure that I'm taking some extra time in order to help you understand that yes, whatever you are listening from me is actually coming from years of experience and helping a lot of people get into product management. Okay, so with that being said, I hope I might now have your attention. So now with that being said, we are going to start with the first topic. Okay, the first topic is what do product managers do? Everyone, take a moment in the chat, take a moment to think about it, and tell me in the chat what do you think product managers do? Take a moment and tell me in the chat what do you think product managers do? CEO of a product help companies scale. Very interesting. Yes, yes. Most of you are correct, but let me tell you, okay. So what happens is that the most difficult part of product management is to define product management. Okay, but we'll try to do so today. So as a product manager, yes, you are contributing to the business, you are contributing to the customers, you are contributing to your team, but eventually you are doing these three stuff. Okay. I'm going to help you understand product management with this simple 3D framework. Okay. So as a product manager, you do these three things. The first thing is discovery. What do you mean by discovery? As a product manager, you are responsible for solving the customer problems and you are responsible for bringing the business outcomes. Okay. You are solving the customer problems and you are bringing the business outcomes. Business should earn revenue and profits and the customer should get their problems solved. Now, for that, you need to do three things. The first thing is discovery. Discovery means finding the right ideas. Discovery means finding the right ideas in order to implement. So, what we do in discovery, you understand your business goals. If you guys are working for any kind of company, you will understand that every quarter or every 6 months, the company is going to give you some goals. So, the revenue, it could be market share, or it could also be user growth. Okay, there are multiple kind of business goals. Once you understood the business goals, you are also going to do a user research. User research means ability to understand what your customer pain points are. Okay. User research is ability to understand what your customer needs. Okay. So that is called as user research. How do you do user research? You do user research by user interviews. You do user research through surveys. You do user research by connecting with people, and you do user research by making sure that you are able to observe these users. Okay, so by observation, by user interviews, by surveys, you understand what your users want. Okay, after this, you do market research. Market research means you understand what are the trends that are going in the market. You understand what your competitors are doing. And based on that, you will again have a new set of ideas. Okay, so you collect ideas from here, you collect ideas from here, and business goals set your direction. And also, you will also use analytics. Analytics as in, these days, whenever you use any kind of product, your metrics, your data is being tracked. That let's say 100 people are signing up on the platform, but only 5% people are paying us money. So you can understand the problem and then you can solve this problem. Okay. Analytics is also one of the major places from where you can get a lot of ideas. Right? So you understand the business goals, you do the user research, you do the market research, and then you take the help of analytics. Now, with all of these things, you are also going to talk to your team, your stakeholders, such as sales and marketing team, such as customer support team, because they are very near to the customer. And eventually, you have a lot of ideas. You have a lot of ideas. Okay, this is what discovery means. Discovery means the ability to find the ideas which can help your customers and which can help your business move forward. Okay, and now in order to make yourself more productive, because these things are not easy, it will take a lot of your time. So you need to be productive. So some tools are Google Analytics and Mixpanel for measuring the analytics. Google Analytics or Mixpanel are used for measuring the analytics. Typeform, Google Form, or SurveyMonkey are used for conducting surveys. And there is an interesting tool called Canny, and there is another tool called as Craftful, which is used to collect information and user feedback from all of the places. Let me show you how it works. So I have told you that in discovery, you need to understand the user feedback and act on it. Okay. So this is how it works. If you have built any kind of product, if product is an app, then people are going to leave reviews on Play Store and App Store. If you have gone ahead and created a SaaS product, then people are going to leave reviews on maybe G2. Okay. If you have a chatbot on your website, then people are going to put some comments, some questions, some queries on your chatbot. Okay. So this tool collects everything. Okay. This tool collects everything and it sends it to one dashboard so that you can get all the feedback at one place, and then you should be able to make them a part of your product roadmap. Okay, so this is what we do in product discovery. Okay, we collect ideas from all of the places, we align them with the business goals, and then we use all of these tools in order to discover the right ideas. Okay, this phase is also known as, this particular phase is also known as the creative phase, where you go creative in terms of ideas, right? Everyone in the chat, tell me on a scale of 1 to 5 if you are able to understand this. 1, you did not understand, 5, you understand it well. Now let's go ahead. Yes. Now let's go ahead and talk about, yes. Now let's go ahead and talk about few examples. Okay. The first example is Swiggy. Swiggy is an app that helps you deliver food at your place. Okay. And if you are not from India, then a relevant app is DoorDash. Okay, DoorDash is a Swiggy relevant, Swiggy equivalent in US. Okay. So now Swiggy was facing a problem. The problem was that people were ordering something and then they would cancel the order. Okay. And now if they are canceling the order and they will come to customer support that boss, I need to cancel the order. Now if the order cancellation has been entertained, which is if Swiggy agrees that we can cancel the order, then if the restaurant has already prepared food, they are going to struggle because the food is going to get wasted. Similarly, if the customer support is rejecting the customer that no, we cannot go ahead and cancel the order, then the customer would be unhappy. Because many times it is possible that customer might have made the payment by a mistake. Okay, so there is a business problem that if we go ahead and start giving all of everyone their money backs and refunds and cancel the orders, then business is going to suffer from the restaurant side. And on the second side, if we do not allow this, then customers are going to have a bad experience. Okay, so now what they did was their data team sat on data and they were able to understand that most of the genuine requests that were coming for order cancellation, that were within 2 minutes of placing the order. People understood that we have placed a bad order. Okay, so what they did was they created a very simple feature that once you make an order, on the order page, we are going to give you a timer. And that timer is going to be for about 2 minutes or 1 minute based on multiple parameters. Okay. And now, if the timer is ending, if the timer has ended, you cannot cancel the order. But as long as the timer is live, you should be able to cancel the order. And only when the timer ends after 2 minutes, that this order will be sent to the restaurant. So, win-win for restaurants and win-win for the customers. And it also saved a lot of customer support requests that Swiggy was getting to cancel the orders within 1 minute of placing the order. Okay, so this is a great example of how there was a business goals of reducing the customer chat queries, of helping the restaurants not to reduce the wastage, and also giving the right kind of experience to the customers. Okay, so by balancing the business needs and the user needs, we were able to build this feature. A quick yes or no, everyone, if you're able to understand this example. Yes. Now, after this, I have another example. Okay, so as we have considered this, as we have considered Swiggy, we should also talk about Zomato. Okay, so Zomato has implemented some other feature. Other feature as in Zomato understood with a lot of data, their data analyst was sitting one day and they were able to find an insight. The insight was that let's say if I am living at a place X, okay, and there's a restaurant, let's say this is a restaurant at a place X, there's a customer who remains at 1 kilometer distance. There is another customer who is at 2 kilometer distance, and there is another customer who is at the 3 kilometer distance. Okay. Now, in 1, 2, 3, some analyst or some product manager was able to understand that the rating for 1 kilometer for the restaurant was actually 5 star. Rating the restaurants who were making the order from 2 kilometers, their rating was around 4.8. And maybe people who are far, the rating was around 4.0 or 3.5. So with distance, the rating was reducing. Can you guys think why was it happening? Tell me in the chat, guys, why was it happening? Yes. Because if it is longer, they need to travel longer. That will take more time. If it takes more time, the food might not be fresh. And also, people might be feeling more hungry. Okay. And they cannot go ahead and sustain their hunger. Okay. So, very simple reason. Someone was able to discover this insight with data. So now Swiggy has this feature that Zomato has this feature that if you click on the ratings, you should be able to understand what is the rating as per this. Okay. So are you people able to understand what is the user value for this? So the users can decide whether I should go ahead and order from this restaurant or not. Everyone, yes or no, if you're able to understand the user value. Yes. Now tell me, what is the business value? What is the business? Why would Swiggy do this? Why would Zomato do this? Yes. Understand if you solve the user problems, you always have a happy customer. You always have a happy customer. But understand, there are things beyond that as well, right? Come on, guys, tell me, how will it help the business? Apart from being a happy customer, what are other things? Try to understand the business of Swiggy. What do they do? Start delivery fees, increase their profit. Yes. So what happens is that understand if you understand the business model of Swiggy or Zomato, most of the payment that they make is for the delivery charges. If customers are motivated to order from a restaurant nearby them, they have to go ahead and pay less delivery charges. And that will also make sure that people are actually ordering from places that are nearby them. Okay. And people would not see a sudden charge of, let's say, more delivery, which might let them to cancel the order. Okay. So faster delivery of orders, plus making sure that they have to pay less money for each delivery person for the distance to be covered. Okay. So the user value is you understand whether this food is going to reach safely to in the best possible condition for you or not. And second is you are going to the Swiggy or Zomato as a platform, they are going to save some money on the delivery charges. Okay, so they were able to balance a business need and the user need very, very well. Okay, a quick yes or no, everyone, if you're able to understand this. Yes. Win-win for the customers and for the audience, right? Cool. Now, one exercise for everyone that you could do after the session is ended. Okay. If you want to become a product manager, you have to start observing products. By observing the products, I mean that look at, let's say, go to your mobile phone. Look at the last 5 apps that you have used or you have installed. Or whenever you work, there are some kind of applications that your work uses, such as Slack, Microsoft Teams, and these kind of things. Pick up 5 apps that you use over there and try to question yourself. What is the value for the customer? What is the value for the user? For the user, for the customer? What is the value for the business? And if I were the product manager at that company, how would I improve this feature? Okay, so if you answer these 3 questions repeatedly for a long period of time, I am sure your product sense would take a different route. Okay, tell me, I commit in the chat if you guys commit to doing these things. I'll repeat the exercise again, guys. I'll repeat the exercise. The exercise is, okay. So the exercise is very simple. Pick up five products each from your personal life, from your mobile phone, from your professional life, which is so that you are covering both B2B and B2C. Okay, business to customers and business to business. Okay, after that, break down the product into features and ask yourself 3 questions. The first question is, what's the purpose of this product slash feature to the user? Okay, which is what does the problem does it solve for the users? The second is, what's the purpose of this feature for the business? How does the business gets this? I have already given you one example, 2 examples actually. Okay, and if I were the PM, how would I improve this feature? Understand, you don't have to do anything complicated. Just keep it commonsensical. Okay, if you do it repeatedly for 10, 20, 30 days, I'm sure your product sense will definitely evolve. Okay. Yes. Now tell me, guys, if you are able to understand this exercise and you commit to doing this. You can also do this exercise daily, put this on LinkedIn to get feedback from so many other people. Yes. So that was the first part. That was the first part, also called a discovery. Now we will talk about the second part. The second part is definition. Understand that you as a product manager want to implement as many ideas as possible, but practically it is not possible. You don't have resources, you don't have money, you don't have time. Okay, even if you are the biggest company in the world, you don't have enough time. Okay, so what we'll do is we have to define, we have to choose what we need to do, and then after choosing we need to give clarity to our team that what is it that we need to do. Okay, so in this phase, we are going to give the clarity to the team. Okay, look at this diagram, people, and tell me in the chat what is happening here. Look at this diagram and tell me in the chat what is happening here. Hmm. Yes. So always remember this line. Product management is a team sport. So it's your responsibility as a product manager to bring everyone on the same page. So here in this example, a set of people are exposed to an elephant, and based on what they were touching, because they were blindfolded, they cannot see the elephant. Whatever they were touching, they thought and they had their own perspective. For example, someone who is touching the tusk of an elephant, they thought it's a spear. Someone who is touching the tail of an elephant, they thought it's a rope. And this is the reality of product management. Your sales people think that sales is going to solve all the problems. Your marketing people think that marketing is going to solve all the problems. And your development team thinks that development is going to solve all the problems. Okay. And when the product is launched and nothing works, then people say that it is because of the other team that it is not happening. Okay. So what you need to do is you as a product manager need to collaborate with this team together. You need to bring everyone on the same page. And what you need to give is the clarity to your team. Okay. You need to give clarity to your team that, boss, this is what users want. This is what market wants. This is what analytics say. This is what the business goal is. And because of this, we are now trying to implement this feature. And then you will talk with everyone to make sure that everyone is on the same page. But how do you give clarity? You give clarity by helping them do prioritization, which is you could have 10 ideas. How do you prioritize ideas? Okay. Similarly, you help them understand metrics and goals. As in, let's say we launch the product. How do we know if this product is actually something that is bringing us results? Okay, so you will help them define metrics and goals. How do we measure the progress? Okay, and eventually you will write something called as a product requirement document. You will write something called as a product requirement document. So what is a product requirement document? A product requirement document, I'm going to tell you in a brief. And at the end of the sessions, I'm going to share with you a detailed video so that you can learn how to create a product requirement document. Okay, so a product requirement document is a piece of document that is created by a product manager, which contains why are we creating the feature, which is what is the problem that we are solving, what is the problem for the customer, what is the problem for the business, why we should do this. Okay, then you are going to talk about what are you going to do. So here you are going to include in the why problem statement for customers and business, you are going to include your market research and user research. Similarly, what you are going to talk about flow of the feature. What is the feature that you are suggesting after consulting with the designers and everything? Okay, and then you will also mention how will you measure the success. So you are going to put some metrics. Okay, this is a very, very high level view of PRD, but I will share a detailed document with you so that you guys can understand, or a detailed a video with you so that you guys can understand how to create a product requirement document. Okay, but guys, this is one of the most important document that you need to create as a product manager. Okay, you need to go ahead and create the product requirement document. Okay, yes. And once you do this definition, now you are ready to implement your idea. And here also, because you have to do a lot of documentation and design and so much management and align with many stakeholders, you have to use multiple tools. The tools that you use for documentation are Confluence and Notion. The two popular tools that are used for this documentation are Confluence and Notion. These are documentation tools. You can use them to create product requirement documents and other requirement documents. Okay, always understand, always remember this, a product requirement document is not a PDF. It's a live document. It keeps on changing. It keeps on changing as your product evolves. Plus, other people such as engineers, designers, developers, sales, marketing, they can also make edits to the document. So as a product manager, you are not the only creator, you are not the only maintainer. You are, yes, the owner of the document, but other people can also contribute because product management is a team sport. It's a collaboration sport. Okay. And then for designing, understand in this phase, in order to help your team understand what the feature is, you have to create some kind of wireframes or some kind of designs so that your team of developers and designers can understand what is it that you are trying to do. A very high level understanding. Okay. So how many of you know what is a wireframe? Tell me yes or no in the chat. Tell me yes or no in the chat if you know what is a wireframe. Yes, yes, no, 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 yes, no, 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 yes. Hmm. So a wireframe is a very high level visualization of your idea. A wireframe is a very high level visualization of your idea. Okay, let me give you a few examples. So these are the examples of wireframes. A very high level understanding. You can create it with a pen and paper. This is a wireframe. Whatever our idea is, you try to explain it and make other people understand with the help of just simple visual flow. Okay, and if you guys want to learn how to create wireframes with a popular software such as Figma, I will also give you the video at the end of the session. So I've created a very long, 50-minute long masterclass, which will help you understand Figma as much as you need to become a product manager. Okay. So for design also, we have to use multiple tools. Tools such as tools such as Whimsical and Figma are used to create designs. Whimsical and Figma. And now, once you have everything, you have a great product requirement document. You have to convert these requirements in the form of tasks for your team, for your developers, for your designers, right? So now you have to use a project management tool such as Trello and Jira so that you can manage what your people are doing, whether they are doing it on time, what is the time that is left for delivery, and you can go ahead and manage all the operations related to the product, which is also known as project management. Okay, so we have discovered the ideas, we have defined the ideas, right? Everyone tell me on a scale of 1 to 5 if you're able to understand things so far. Hmm. Yes. And the last part, and the part that is actually going to decide your destiny, is the delivery part. Delivery, I divide into three parts. Okay. So delivery means design, then development, and then distribution. Okay. So delivery means design, development, and distribution. Okay. So what we do here is the requirements. Now we know what to do. We sit together with our engineering team. We sit together with our development team, design team, and marketing team in order to build the product. Okay. We really build the product. Then we work with engineering, design, sales, and marketing in this phase. We also do experiment setup. Experiment setup means that no matter how confident or how good you are as a product manager, how senior you are never 100% sure whether this thing is actually going to work. This feature addition that you are doing is actually going to work because customers operate more with psychology rather than logic. Okay. So you have to set up some kind of experiments. One of the experiments that you set up is called as an A/B experiment. Let me show you how it works. So an A/B experiment. So how many people know what is an A/B experiment? Tell me in the chat. A quick yes or no in the chat. Yes, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Cool. So let me give you a tiny brief. Okay, let's say I have the Hello PM website right now where I have some title. and I have a particular image on the website. Okay. And then there is a CTA to register for this masterclass. Okay, this is the CTA. This is the button to register. Okay. Now, someone suggested me that if you put a video of yourself explaining what people are going to get in the masterclass, then it is going to convert better. Okay. What I'll do is I will create another version that this. I will put a video over there. Other things remains the same. I have created this version, but I'm not sure whether this person was actually correct or not. And I do not want to lose my leads. Okay. So what I'll do is rather than just uploading this version, I will make both the versions like. Let's say this as the A part and this as the B part. Okay. And then I will measure. I will try to send equal kind of traffic to both the things. And then I will measure the results. So let's say the results are A and B. What is the total traffic that I got? How many people actually click on CTA? And how many people clicked on A? Let's say 100 people clicked on A. 100 people were exposed to A. 100 people came on the website and they see the A version. And 100 people came to the website and they see the B version. But in CTA A, let's say 5 people click. But in CTA B, let's say 20 people click. That means it has a conversion rate of 5%. It has a conversion rate of 20%. So I'm sure that this is definitely a better version. So I am going to go live with this one and I will remove this one. Okay. CTA means call to action. The buttons that you see on the website, such as sign up now, register now, or add to cart, buy now, these are called CTAs, call to action. Okay. Everyone, tell me if you are able to understand this. Yes or no in the chat. People who said that they don't know, don't have any idea about A/B testing, I hope they're able to understand what it is. Yes. Cool. Now, after this, after you have gone ahead and created these experiments, you are going to go ahead and create a go-to-market strategy. Go-to-market strategy is now your product is ready. Now you have to launch it to the audience. Okay, so you have to prepare for it. So you are going to now consult with your sales and marketing team in order to create a go-to-market strategy. Okay, so although in our bigger program we discuss in go-to-market strategy at length, but right now I can tell you a brief. Okay, so a go-to-market strategy or the GTM contains three important parts. Okay, the first part is what is your value proposition? Value proposition means what is the problem that the customer is facing and what is your solution for the problem? What is the value that you are delivering? Okay. The second thing that you need to figure out is what is going to be your communication. So you have to write very pinpointed, clear, crisp communication on your website, on your app, in your emails, in your notifications, in your banners, in your ads, at 100 places. Okay, so communication. And the third part is distribution channel. So whether you are going to promote your product with the help of ads on Facebook or social media marketing on LinkedIn, or you are going to run search ads, or you are going to promote it on search engines, or you are going to do influencer marketing, or you are going to sponsor some events, what is it that you are going to do? That is the distribution channel. What is the distribution channel? Okay, so three parts of a GTM: what is the value prop, what is the communication, what is the distribution, and then you have to plan it accordingly in order to launch your feature really, really well. Okay, so this is a very basic 101 of go-to-market strategy. Okay, yes. Now here, this value prop part is defined by the product manager. Why? Because you are the product manager who are initially understanding the problem, coming up with solutions, so you have more clarity about the same. Okay, it is your responsibility to give this context, whatever research that you have done, to the communication team, which is the marketing team. And the marketing team will also work with the distribution channels. Okay, so don't think that your work as a product manager is done once you have created the product. No, your product is not successful and your work is not done as a product manager as long as the customer is not using it. Okay, so you have to take the product to the customers. That is how great products are created. So great product managers don't tell this is not my job. They have to do everything in order to solve the customer problems and make sure that the company is able to achieve success. Okay, yes. And then you will launch and then you will analyze the data. So understand here, you might have looked at some kind of data. In this phase, we have looked at some kind of, we have decided some analytics. Here also, we have decided some metrics and goals, right? So now you will measure whether after launching we are able to achieve these metrics or not, right? So this is what we go ahead and do, right? Now here also we can use multiple tools. In order to measure your analytics, you can use Mixpanel, you can also use Google Analytics. In order to run A/B experiments, you are going to use Google Optimize. In order to send notifications and emails to your users, you are going to use CleverTap. So CleverTap is a customer lifecycle management tool with which you can go ahead and send multiple messages such as notifications, emails, ads to your users. Okay, and then there is Jira. So your customers are going to complain. You will have a lot of tickets. So how do you put these tickets back into your roadmap? Is something that is done by Jira and platforms such as Craftful and Kenny. Okay, now guys, tell me how many people are feeling like this. Yes or no in the chat if you are feeling like this.
Encel app. High voltage flash sale ending soon bookmark. Glowing star kinuhos raw tapa bonasa panahosa. Christmas tree up to 30 gigabytes bonus.
Hmm, cool. Yes. So guys, understand. You don't understand anything without you don't understand anything without going through some cases. So let's understand some examples and then we'll see how everything pans out. Okay. But before that, let me give you some idea of the tools. Many people have questions about the tools, so I'll take some time in order to tell you the tools. Okay. Tools. So don't learn tools for the sake of it. There has to be a purpose to use the tool. So the first thing that you need the user tool for is analytics. Okay. So I'll divide the tools into four things. First is analytics. Second is project management or work management. Third is design tools. And then there are other utility tools. Okay. So in terms of analytics, we have multiple tools. Mixpanel is one tool. Google Analytics is one tool. Okay. Mode is one tool. Amplitude is one tool. Indicative is one tool. Okay. Power BI. Tableau, okay, Post Hoc. These are multiple tools that you can use. Understand? You don't have to bother about their usage. If you understand one tool, all the other tools is same. Okay, all the other tools are same. The second is project management. Now you have to manage the project, as in you have given the work to the team. How do you know if something is getting done on time or something is getting delayed? Okay, so for that you can use Jira, you can use Monday.com, you can use Asana, you can use Zoho. Freshworks also has their own tool, and there are multiple other tools as well. Okay, and even if you are a small company, you can just use Google Sheets to do this, right? Then for design, as a product manager, you have to design some kind of wireframes. Okay, so in design, we use Figma most importantly. Then we also have Whimsical. We also have Balsamic. Okay, and then utility. For utility, we have, let's say, communication with the team. You can use Slack. You can use Teams. Okay, Microsoft Teams. For collecting the feedback, you can use Google Forms. You can use Tally. You can use Typeforms. Or in order to collect automated feedback, you can use Craftful, you can use Canny. Okay. And now there are all these tools that I'm mentioning, they also have AI features. So I will also give you a video at the end of the sessions so that you can understand how to use all of these tools with the power of AI so that you are able to save some more time. Okay. Yes. Yes, guys, I'll share this document with you as well. So don't worry about it. Cool. Cool. Now let's go ahead. Okay. So everyone tell me on a scale of 1 to 5 if everything so far is understood to you. Yes. Okay, one more important thing, guys. Okay, I have seen that people who are just beginning their careers, okay, they generally get overwhelmed by the number of tools. I have suggested you so many tools. Okay, so please don't get overwhelmed. Start with anything that is possible for you to do right now. Look up for a most easy tool which is free for you. Okay, you can, all of the tools have the freemium version. So get started with any tool. Don't choose. Start with any tool that you can, and then you will understand that all the other tools are also the same. 90% of features in all of these tools are exactly the same. So don't worry about that. If I know these tool, I will lose out on that particular tool. Don't go into FOMO. Just start. You have to take an action. Okay, cool. So now with that being said, we are at the 1 hour mark now. I will take a quick break of 5 minutes. Take a break, get up from your chair, drink some water, and then come back. We will be back after 5 minutes as soon as this timer ends, and we'll discuss a case. Go ahead, guys. Take a break and come back. Hello everyone, welcome back. Tell me I am back in the chat if you are back. Tell me I'm back in the chat if you are back. Sure. So I hope you guys are able to understand what I'm trying to tell you so far. Now let us go ahead and talk about a case. Okay. So yes. So so that you guys don't feel like this, I'm going to help you understand with a case. Okay. Let me just go ahead. Let me just go ahead and give you a case. Okay. So understand. This website is apna.co. Okay. And they are facing a problem or a challenge. The challenge is if 100 people come to this website, only 5% people actually sign up. If 100 is the traffic, then only 5% people actually sign up. What you need to do is observe the page that I have given you and tell me if you are the product manager, what would you do? Tell me, guys. Take a moment to observe and tell me in the chat, what would you do in this case? Gurnur said, I'll improve design. That's not helpful. URL needs HTTPS, some testimonials. UI issue, no sign up button. Include testimonials. Yes. Make button bigger. UX writing is poor. Add logos. Sign up with Google. Better CTA. Cool, cool. Very good. So, Pratiksha has told that we should make a separate page for employers and separate page for users, right? Devshita says that we should create a mobile version. Hmm. Santosh says that value is not communicated properly. So we should improve the size of the CTS. Okay. Vikas says that we need to put a pop-up so that people are reminded of this. Okay. And many ideas are on the similar lines, right? Cool. You guys are doing, like most of you are doing, a typical mistake that a product manager makes, that mostly new product managers make. Okay. This mistake is also one of the favorite sports of our country. Can you guys tell me what is the favorite sport of our country? Tell me in the chat, guys. What do you think is the favorite sport of our country? Favorite as in not that what you like, but what you play and what we play most of the times. Yes. So I could see there are some people who are attending the session for the first time, for the second time. So the favorite sport of our country is jumping to conclusions, right? So we are assuming a lot of things, we are jumping to conclusion without asking the right questions. Okay. So what we are doing is, rather than understanding the case, rather than dissecting down the funnel, rather than thinking what is the problem, we are just going ahead and jumping to solutions, right? And I could see there are more than 100 ideas which are, let's say, just jumping to the solution. So as a product manager, always remember this. Just two words. Step back. Step back once you see a problem. Try to step back and observe the problem. Understand what is happening there before you can execute. Okay. So remember, stepping back. It's actually a good thing in product management so that you can observe. Okay. Now you have understood this. Now, as you have understood this, let's go ahead and talk about what could be the things that we could have done here. Okay. So we will follow the normal discovery process. Whatever we have done so far is also the discovery process. We have collected ideas from everyone. So we will try to talk to the user. We'll understand what the issues are. Okay. But understand, people who are able to sign up, they will not be able to give you right data because they were actually signing up. But you don't have data about people who are not signing up because they have not signed up. So how do you have their data? So you will try to talk to users, but that will not give you right kind of insights. So you will also watch session recordings. So session recordings is a tool, analytics tool, where you can observe how your users are using your website like a video. Okay. You can see how your users are looking at your website and using your website as if you are standing near their shoulder. Okay. One of the free tools to look at session recordings is Microsoft Clarity. Microsoft Clarity offers a free tool, and Hotjar and Full Story and other also have this kind of tool, but Microsoft is a free one to use. Okay. Then you will also with stakeholders. That it might be possible that your marketing team is running the campaigns in local places such as Maharashtra or maybe such as UP or such as Odisha, where the common people do not know English. So if you expect them to sign up on an English-led page, they might not be able to do so. Okay. So maybe you'll talk to stakeholders in order to understand. You will also look at your analytics and see if you can ask some questions to your developers. Maybe you can ask your question to developers that are these pages loading correctly or not? It could be a issue of the speed, right? And then eventually you will also do the market research. You will look at Naukri, you will look at InstaHire, you will look at multiple other products which are offering the same thing, which is a job site. And what are they doing different than you? Okay. And by doing all of this research, by doing all of these things, then you will come to some conclusions. Conclusions could be that people do not trust your website. You don't have any logos, you don't have any testimonials, right? Value proposition is not clear. Are you providing jobs for blue collar workers, white collar workers? What is the location? What is the salary? These things are not there. So maybe some jobs here and there might help. Similarly, irrelevant traffic. It could be possible that marketing team is, let's say, the business goal is to become the website for tier 2 and 3 audiences, tier 2 and tier 3 audiences. Okay. But your website is actually written all in English. So irrelevant traffic. And maybe it could also be a possibility that the website is very slow. So you go to your Google Analytics account and you are able to see that people who are using the website with Wi-Fi, they have a 40% conversion rate, while people who are using the website with a mobile connection or a 3G connection, there the conversion rate is 2% and aggregated is 5%. So that means website is not able to load correctly on the lower end devices with slow internet connection. Okay, so now you will do all of this research in order to arrive at a particular thing. Right? A quick yes or no, everyone, if you're able to understand this. Now, after this, you will go into definition. You will go into definition. What you will do is, now, guys, understand this particular thing is not one person's job. Don't think that you will find the website is slow and you will tell your developers what to do. It is a collaborative process. You might be able to find, but then you have to inform your developer and they have to come up with the solution, right? After that, we'll do the definition. You will brainstorm a lot of things. You will prioritize problems. You will prioritize the solutions. You will create wireframes and flows. You will create a plan of action. Okay, so let's talk about the most important thing here, prioritization. So understand, I have told you that prioritization is a very important thing for a product manager because you don't have all the time, money, and resources to execute everything. You cannot bombard your users with all the features because you don't have time and they don't have patience, they don't have attention. Okay, so how do you prioritize the right stuff? Okay, although if you go deeper into product management, you will understand that there are multiple models of prioritization. One model is Moscow. Another model is Rice. Another model is Kill. But these are a bit sophisticated networks, frameworks. I will give you a very simplistic framework today. Okay, but before that, tell me everyone, if you want to buy something or not buy something, or if you want to choose one thing from so many things, how do you do this? How do you prioritize in your life? Let's say if you want to buy a phone, how would you decide if you want to buy this phone or not? Tell me in the chat. We will keep it very commonsensical today. Do not think about any framework. Please apply your mind. Cool. Very good. Yes. So this is what we do. So first question that we ask is, do we need it? Right? Then we ask two questions. What is the cost of this product? And what is the value that I got from this product? If the cost is less and the value is more, I'm going to buy the product. Similarly, in product management, we have something called as impact and effort. Impact is the value and cost is the effort. Impact is what is the business impact, what is the user impact, how helpful it can be for the user. Okay, that you find by doing user research and market research. And efforts come from the delivery team, which is the engineering, marketing, design, these kind of things. Okay, this is the time and money that you invest in order to create the. This comes from the engineering, design, and other teams. Okay, so this is impact versus effort framework. Okay, and how do you implement this? What you do is you write the feature, then you write what is the estimated impact, then you write what is the estimated effort, Then you divide impact by effort, and then you get a prioritization score. So let's say feature number one, feature number two, feature number three, feature number four. We give it an impact value from 1 to 5. Okay. So let's say this has an impact of 5, this is an impact of 2, this is an impact of 3, this is an impact of 1. More impact means it is going to be more helpful. You expect it to be more helpful for the users and for the business. Okay. Similarly, for efforts, we have 1, 2, 4, 3. Okay. 1 means lowest impact effort, and 4, 5 means highest. This is estimated by engineers, right? And then when we divide, we have 5 by 1, we have 2 by 2, we have 3 by 4, we have 1 by 3. So this is priority number 1. This is priority number 2, this is priority number 3, and this is priority number 4, based on the numbers. Okay. Now the question is, how do you understand the impact? Guys, impact is done by your user research, your market research, what is the data that is available to you, and you consider multiple parameters such as what is going to be the revenue growth, how many users will be affected by this, okay, what is going to be the experience of the users if they use this product. So based on multiple factors, you are going to decide an impact. And impact is always comparable. It is compared across similar set of things, right? A quick yes on everyone if you're able to understand this. Impact is the user value and the business value. Business value is measured by whatever your goal is. Your goal is revenue, your goal is user growth, your goal is cost saving, your goal is market share. Okay, these are the numbers that you are going to put. Similarly, in user value, number of users impacted. Is there any cost saving for the user? Is there any time saving for the user? Can customers make more revenue because of this particular feature? Or what is their experience after this feature? Or if you're talking about a platform such as Facebook or Google, what is the additional time that they spend because of this particular feature? So you can understand multiple things, then you combine them, and then you normalize them, then you have a number. Okay, a quick yes on everyone if you're able to understand, like what are the various tenets of measuring the impact. Interesting. Very good. Yes. Now, let me give you few scenarios. Let me give you few scenarios. Okay. The scenarios are, we will do a measurement. The measurement is, we will map impact on y-axis. And guys, observe this closely. Okay. This is an important thing. This is impact, and this is efforts. This is low efforts. This is high efforts. This is low impact. This is high impact. Okay. Now here, ideas that are here, which is high impact and low efforts are the ideas that are going to become your priority number zero, or priority number, I would say, which are going to become your top priority. Why? Because with less time, you can achieve more. These are also known as low hanging fruits. These can be done quickly and they can have a lot of impact. Okay. So when TikTok got banned in India and multiple countries, Instagram was quickly able to launch reels or optimize reels because they already had the technology and there was a big opportunity in terms of impact and the effort was less. So they were able to create it into a bigger product, right? Similarly, the second part is high impact and high efforts. Okay, guys, tell me yes or no if you are able to understand this quadrant. What happened in the low hanging fruits? Tell me, everyone. Cool. I could see there are 350 people in the session, but only few are replying. Guys, go ahead. Tell me I am present in the chat if your focus is there in the session. Tell me I am present in the chat if your focus is there in the session. Yes. So, guys, uh, uh, all the resources, all the notes, all the texts would be shared with you once you go ahead and complete the session. Fill the feedback form at the end. Yes, good. Thank you for your presence, guys. Now let's go ahead. Okay, cool. The second thing is after low hanging fruits, the second thing is which takes high impact and high efforts. Understand, guys? No matter how many variables you consider, no matter how many variables you consider, in the end, in the end, this game is forecasting. Impact is something that you forecast, and forecast most of the times are wrong. Okay. So although the impact is forecasted, we generally tend to overestimate the impact and we tend to underestimate the effort. So now what is happening is here is that because of high impact and high effort, this becomes a very risky thing. And these are also called as big bets. Companies have to take big bets to be relevant and to follow bold ideas. Okay. So if you remember in 2020, Facebook tried to build metaverse. They renamed their complete company and they did a lot of things. They spent a lot of money, more than $100 billion in order to do this. But it did not work out. Metaverse did not work out. Okay. So that is a big bet that they have played, it not work out. Similarly, OpenAI, they have been working on ChatGPT for more than 7 years now, 8 years now. And just 2 years ago, they were able to launch it. So this was also a big bet that whether we'll be able to create that kind of system that is going to talk as nicely as a human, as naturally as a human. So that was also a big bet. But that big bet worked out. They were able to create that system. Right? So big bets are things that are high impact and high effort. So you have to collect a lot of data before you can pursue this kind of thing. Okay. After this, we have something called as low impact and high efforts. Can you guys tell me what should be done with these? Tell me in the chat what should be done with these. It is high effort and low impact. Yes. So they are either discarded, they are either put on low priority, or sometimes you can rethink them. Rethinking means that understand low impact is low impact because customers do not value it, right? And high effort is high effort because your team does not have technology or ability to create this as soon as possible. Okay. So understand, you have to ask yourself two questions. How can the impact be increased if something changes in the market? Right. So from 2010 to 2015, there were multiple apps that came around short videos. One was Vine, that was actually funded by this company called Twitter. Another company was Meerkat, which was also funded by really nicely, but they did not work out. Okay, why? Because customers did not have mobile phones, smartphones, so that they can create content. The internet connections were not so cheap, so it was difficult for people to consume videos on after the other. Okay, so there was no impact in that idea. So most of these businesses failed. But now in 2023-24, you understand that short videos is actually a sensation, which actually started from 2017-18 when the internet became much cheaper for us. When the smartphones became much cheaper for us. Now anyone can have a smartphone and they can go ahead and start creating videos on TikTok, Vine, on these kind of platforms, on Instagram Reels. Right? So impact increased and also the effort also decreased. How did the effort decrease? Before, what happening was that initially, if you want to create video models, if you want to create, let's say, these kind of platforms, it was very costly to build. But now, with so many open source technologies, what TikTok has done and what the technology has advanced, it's easier to create these kind of platforms. Okay, so both things have gone up. Low effort have gone up, low impact has gone up and became, let's say, high impact, and efforts have gone down. So here what you need to do is either discard or put it on lower priority. If you think it is important, then try to rethink it after a certain period of time when the time is ready. Right. Now, the last part. Okay. So tell me everyone on a scale of 1 to 5 if you are able to understand the prioritization so far. If you are able to understand these three things, tell me in the chat. Before I could come to the fourth model, fourth quarter. Good. Interesting. Now let's go ahead and talk about the fourth quadrant. Low impact and low effort. Tell me guys, what should be done with these ideas? So most of the people are suggesting that if we have time, we can do this, right? Yes, I'll tell you what happens in these cases. Okay.
Calendar, workout chest day tomorrow,
So now
5:45 to
understand,
7:45.
low impact and low effort is a very dangerous zone. I would say very nuanced, very tricky, and very dangerous zone. Imagine this scenario. Okay. Let's say you go to a developer. First of all, you have not worked hard on your discovery skills. You have not done the right research. You have not talked to enough users. You have not understood the business well. Whatever ideas came to the top of your mind, you collected them. And then what you did was you have gone to your team, your developers and designers, and then you give them ideas which are either low impact and low effort, or you give them ideas which are low impact and high effort. Okay, because the developers have to work and they have to keep on ticking the boxes. Which one do you think they are going to agree with without any resistance? They are going to agree with low effort, low impact, or high effort, low impact. Yes. So they are going to agree with things which are low effort for them as well. Okay. And what will happen after this? Now you will keep on building features because these features will not take time. These features will not take a lot of resources. You will keep on building these features one by one, one by one. Okay. And one day will come when you will have your performance review. And in that performance review, you will go to your manager and you will tell them that, boss, I have created these 25 features in just 3 months, or in just 4 months, or maybe in just 1 year. Okay. And then they will tell you that, boss, you have created a lot of features, but where is the value for the business and for the customers? Okay. And then you will feel what you have done. Okay. So always understand, guys, I call this low impact and low effort as the valley of death. This is the place where mediocre product managers play. Why? Because you think that it's your responsibility to just do things. No, your responsibility is not to just do things. Your responsibility is to make sure that you are able to do things which are important, which are creating impact. Okay, I have seen many product managers, they keep on optimizing the user journeys, increasing the things by 1%, 2%, rather than looking at new features which can give them more revenue. Okay, so always remember, guys, you as a product manager, if you are struggling here, you will end up becoming something called as a feature factory. But as a PM, you do not need to be a feature factory. You need to be a value factory, right? Everyone, now tell me on a scale of 1 to 5 if you are able to understand. Understand, although I start with prioritization, but this is a strategic thing that you need to understand. Okay. Everyone, tell me on a scale of 1 to 5 if you are able to understand this.
Gmail. Syncing new emails.
Yes, very good. Now there is one more problem. There is one more problem with this particular framework. Can you guys tell me one more problem with this framework? We have talked about this framework in detail. Now, can you tell me what is one problem with this framework? Tell me in the chat. There is one big problem. There is one issue with this framework. Tell me what is that issue? Yes. The issue is something that world calls as the innovator's bias, but I like to call it the God syndrome. What does it mean, sir? Understand, as a product manager, you are coming up with the ideas. Okay. You have a lot of ideas that are suggested by customers, by the analytics team, by multiple teams. You have done the research, and you also have a lot of ideas. Now, because we are humans, we tend to love our ideas more than necessary. We lose objectivity when it comes to our ideas. We consider our ideas as our own baby. Okay. We consider our own ideas as our own baby. And what happens is that because of this reason, you will see product managers, mostly new product managers, whatever idea they come up with, if you tell them to sort the ideas on the basis of impact and effort, you will see that every idea is high impact. Why? Because boss, if it were a bad idea, why would it come to my mind? I am so intelligent, right? So as a product manager, before you can fight with the customer biases, before you can fight with your company's biases, before you can go ahead and conquer the world, you have to conquer yourself. Okay, so this is a very important part, and you have to be aware of this, that yes, this will happen. So you don't have to, you have to make sure that you are telling yourself that, boss, I do not have to lose objectivity. But let us see how this problem actually turns into a grid. Okay, so we will again create that grid. Effort, impact, high impact, low impact, low effort, high effort. Okay. So now if you are working with a product manager, mostly new product managers who are facing this issue, you will see that their ideas are mostly here. Either they are high impact and low efforts, or they are high impact and high efforts, because they cannot get these kind of ideas, right? So what should you do here? So multiple things that you can do. The first thing is, if you see someone who is giving ideas over here, okay, if someone tells you all the ideas are in high impact, high impact, high impact, you tell them to objectively prioritize, because not everything can be a high impact. Okay, you ask them why it is a high impact idea. Second is, if ideas are in this zone, high impact and low effort, what you should do is, you should ask them to do that idea. Once they go ahead and do that idea, because it's a low effort idea, you are not going to lose a lot of efforts. Okay, it can be done quickly. Okay, once they do this, either the idea works or it does not work. Then you are going to make them learn a lesson that yes, this is what we assumed. This has not worked. So next time we are going to improve the hypothesis or improve our impact assessment abilities. Because people learn by making the mistakes, not by you teaching them. Right? The second part is, which is a major part, which is a risky part, which is this. Now, if a PM is convinced that this is a high impact idea and the team says that it's a high effort idea as well, how about you do? Okay, so can you guys tell me what should be done with these ideas, high impact and high effort? How to fight the innovator's bias here? So either you ask for data. You ask for data. Okay. You try to understand what is the data, what have they done in terms of user research, what have they done in terms of market research. Okay. But you have to agree when I say that it's not possible always to get this data. Because if you're trying something new, how would you generate the data? So what you will do is, if you don't have data, you will generate the data. So how do you generate the data? You generate the data with the help of experiments, with the help of MVP, minimum viable product. You create a simplistic feature that helps you test your most riskiest assumptions. So while doing the impact analysis, you have taken some assumptions. So now this idea again becomes high impact and low effort, because you can do it quickly. Okay, so that is why MVPs and experiments are considered, so that you can go ahead and achieve some data with less efforts. And once you see that yes, this data is correct, then you can put all of your efforts in order to create the full-fledged product. Understand, guys, these days, this is the superpower of PM. This is the superpower of PM. Why? Because with tools, AI tools such as ChatGPT, Vercel, Lovable, and so many other tools, you will be able to create MVP and experiments very, very quickly. So I'll share a video with you later. so that you can use these AI based tools in order to create quick prototypes and products. So that before even going to your development team, you can run a small experiment, you can test whether it is working, and then you can tell them that do it with complete efforts. Right? So this is the superpower that you have as a product manager, right? Okay. So this is it. Right? Guys, questions we are going to consider tomorrow. Okay. So everyone, on a scale of 1 to 5, if now you are able to understand prioritization. Cool. So yes, guys, I'll take maybe 5 more minutes and then we will wrap up the session. Just remain here for 5 minutes because I'll then go ahead and share the feedback form. Okay. Now let us go ahead and revert back to our case study. So in our case study, by doing all of the research and all, we are able to understand that, boss, the major problem is that the founders of the company or the leadership of the company are looking to create a product which will help people land jobs in tier 2 and 3 cities of India, which is, let's say, a Bhopal, let's say a Solapur, let's say a Coimbatore. At these places, English is not the primary language, and blue collar workers might not be knowing English. So now the suggestion that the product manager has given is that because we want to operate in tier 2 and tier 3 and tier 4 cities, we should convert the whole website into 40 languages that are used across India. Okay, so we should convert all the pages of the website into 40 languages that are used across India. So now this is the proposal. But you understand that converting all the pages into all the languages is very high risk. Why? Because it can give you impact, but it is going to take a lot of efforts. Right? So what we will do is we will convert that into an experiment. So rather than doing 1,000 pages into 50 languages, which is going to take a lot of efforts from engineering and the translation team, why don't we go ahead and pick only top 3 pages, including the sign up and the login page, and we take only 2 languages, which is, let's say, Hindi and Marathi or Bangla. Okay, we will launch with 3 pages and 2 languages. We will observe is the sign up rate is growing or not. If it grows, then it means that our assumption is correct. If it does not grow, that means we have to again go back to the whiteboard, understand what the other problems are. Okay, so this is the MVP. This is the minimum viable product, because your assumption was that people are not using because they do not that language. So you will test your assumption with this with 100% surety, and then you are going to launch it in other languages. Okay, and then you will go ahead and take it to the market and do all the things at desire. Okay, yes, guys. So now I can understand that my writing is not very good, so I'll also share the slides with you so that you can understand prioritization in a more clear way. Okay. Now, in tomorrow's session,
Modes and
we are
routines.
going to talk
Sleep
about the
turned
product
on
management
until
skills.
before bed is no longer
Okay, what are
detected.
the skills that a product manager has? I will also talk about the books that you need as in if no matter what kind of background that you are coming from, if you want to become a product manager, what is the pathway that you need to follow? Okay. But before that, I will just share a feedback form with you. Yes. So I will share a feedback form with you just now. Everyone, please go ahead. Share your feedback in this feedback form. If you have any inputs, if you have any suggestions, please make sure that you put them over here. Okay. And once you are done, please write done in the chat. Everyone, please start filling the feedback form. Yes. Write done in the chat once you're done with the feedback form, guys. It's mandatory to fill the feedback form if you're looking for all the content and resources that we have shared in the session. Yes. Guys, if you have filled the feedback form, you can leave the session today. Tomorrow we are going to go ahead and yes, yes, tomorrow we will continue with the rest of the session. I have again shared the feedback form in case anyone missed. Yes, same Zoom link for tomorrow. We'll see each other tomorrow. And yes, and tomorrow, guys, also be ready with your questions. So tomorrow I'll take each and every question that you might have. We will answer all the questions. We'll try to answer all the questions. And if you like what we delivered today, feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn, share about our program on LinkedIn, and it will help us help more people like you. Yes. Every content that is promised in the session will be reaching to you maybe in a couple of days. Email. The email that you have used for registration and the email that you have used for form. Yes. Cool. Thank you guys. Bye. Take care. I'll wait for you tomorrow. And tomorrow we are going to learn some more insightful things. Thank you guys. Bye and take care. Thank you.